everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making this Capirotada de tres leches. It is a 3-milk Mexican bread pudding. It is so yummy, it's easy to make, so let's get to making. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with some bread and I'm going to cut about, I don't know, about a 1-inch slices like that, more or less. Now I've got 2 of these little French loaves. I do have another package just in case maybe we want more than this, but this is what I'm going to cut up first. Okay, so now I'm going to butter each one of these slices on both sides and put them on some trays. So I have 1 full tray here. So I've gone ahead and I've cut 1/3 of these loaves. So altogether I've cut 3. All right, so now I've got all the bread on a tray and I actually have another little bit of foil with a little bit of more bread. So this is going to go in the oven. I have it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put them in for about 7 minutes, and then I'm going to turn them over, and so we can do the other side. So 7 minutes or so, depending on how toasty they get up on the top. And we'll turn them around and do it a little bit more. All right, and here's all the bread. It's nice and toasty. I'm going to set this aside, and let's go to the next step. All right, here I've got 6 cups of water, and they are really, really boiling. So I'm going to now add a cinnamon stick that I'm going to break like that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 of them. I want it nice and cinnamony, and I have to break it up just like that. All right, so here I have what is called a piloncillo, which is just some sugar. I'm going to go ahead and add that one in there, and that will dissolve in the water. Now, my mom says to just throw it right in. I usually cut it up, but I'm just going to throw it in just like she says. And I'll be stirring this around just to help it dissolve. And I did lower the heat on the stove here. All right, so now that all that sugar has dissolved, I'm gonna go ahead and fish out the cinnamon sticks. You don't have to do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I kind of like them in there. I remember eating this as a kid and then kind of sucking on the little cinnamon sticks. But for you, if you prefer, just get them out. All right, so now that we've got all our tea, this is our cinnamon tea that has been made. It smells delicious. All the sugar is dissolved in here. We're gonna go ahead and add our 3 milks, or our tres leches. So here I have 1.5 cups of whole milk, and we're just gonna mix that right in. And this is a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. And here I have 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. And we're gonna put the whole thing in there. Okay, now to help get the rest of that little tiny bit, we're gonna add some of this liquid in there. Just like that, stir it around, kind of thins it out because we want every little bit of this condensed milk. So sweet, so yummy. Be careful, the can will get hot. And of course, all that gets stirred in and we just heat it up for just a little bit, a couple of minutes, and that's it. All right, at the bottom of the pan, I'm just gonna throw in some little slices of butter, and I'm using unsalted butter, but of course, if you wanna use salted, that's up to you. You could just rub it in there also, but I'm just throwing little slices like that. Just layer them on the bottom. And you can move them around a little bit. You can use this one to kind of butter the sides some, like that. And this was about 1/2 stick that I've been cutting here, by the way, but you want to put more, go for it. Of course, all the bread is already buttered, so just keep in mind. All right. There we go, good enough. All right, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of our tea with our tres leches here on the bottom here. Add a layer of this. I feel like I made a lot of this tea, so I might have some left over, and that's okay. We could put it in a nice container in the fridge and then use it again later in the week. I wouldn't keep it there for too long, but then, because we make capirotada or capirotada, it's a tradition to make it every Friday. So of course you'll have some of this already ready. You could just heat it up if you want. So right now I'm just gonna put the larger pieces of bread that I can get here on the bottom. And we're gonna now make a nice tight layer here. Using a nice big pan. I think this is about a 9 by 13. I could be wrong. Okay. Nice layer of bread, and then all these little smaller pieces, we can tuck them in here and there. There we go. Let's add another one right here. I want to have a nice bottom layer like that. Squish them in if you have to. Do that one with this. It's okay to crack them up. I'm gonna take some raisins, and I'm using these little boxes of raisins. Use whatever raisins you have. If you wanna try it with craisins, why not? But raisins are the typical or traditional thing to put in this. So that's what I'm adding. Now I make another capirotada that I do with slices of yellow cheese or even Mexican cheese. So today I'm trying something new. And I'm actually gonna put cheese on half of it, and the other half will just be the way I've seen it been made. A bit more raisins. My mom loves raisins, so do I. So we're gonna add lots of them in there. I usually put them in the tea so they boil up and they plump up, but they're gonna do the same thing here anyway. All right, so now we're gonna add some peanuts, and you could add whatever nuts you want. You could add some almonds in here as well. So I'm adding peanuts. That's what I have from last weekend. So I'm using those, and I'm also going to be using these pecan halves. Just throw them in there. You could break them up if you prefer smaller pieces. Use the one that's like pieces rather than the halves. Or I mean, yeah, these are halves. Okay. All right, something different I'm going to try is adding some coconut to it as well. So we're going to sprinkle some of that in there. Some people like to put apples, bananas, sliced bananas. And oops, I forgot to add some vanilla to my tea, so I'm just gonna add whatever amount of vanilla you want. And I'll just stir that right in. And for my queso, I'm gonna use queso fresco. You can use queso cotija, you can use panela cheese. And like I said, I normally make it with just sliced yellow cheeses, like Kraft slices. So anyway, I'm gonna put half of my capirotada with cheese and then the other half without. All right, so to the layer that we've just done, we're gonna add some of the tres leche tea here that now has yummy vanilla in it. And then I'm just gonna repeat until I'm all done. See how many layers I can do. 2 layers is good enough, but 3 is the optimal that you wanna reach at least. Get it all nice and wet, every bit of it. All right, so now I'm gonna start another layer, and I will do the same exact thing. So I've got all my ingredients lined up here, so I'll make sure that I grab every bit of everything. And once I'm done, I'll probably do a 3rd layer. Well, I will do a 3rd layer, and then that'll be it. We'll be back then. All right, so I'm here with the last layer, and I'm just pushing down the bread. Now, when you're putting the liquid in there, just be careful that you don't fill it up. You know, you do your 2 layers, don't fill it all the way up to the top. Just keep an eye on it, because you still want to put some more on top of the 3rd layer. You want to get all the bread nice and moist or wet. Okay, and it doesn't matter what order you add everything. Just make sure you do add everything in there. It's got a nice, beautiful layer of everything already in between. But we still want the top to look pretty. Okay, let me add the raisins. And I see here I have 6 boxes, and it looks like I'm gonna add 4.5, or maybe just, let's see. I want the top to look pretty. So let me add another half in a moment. But first, we'll add these pecans, and I want these to end up on the top of these little breads. So now I'm just individually kind of putting them on there. So it looks pretty. Extra one for my snack. Okay, coconut. I feel like this is going to be awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome with some pineapple maybe in there? Because technically, or I should say traditionally, we eat this cold. So we put it in the fridge. We let it cool off after it's been in the oven, and then we put it in the fridge. So you try to make it the night before, the day before, or early in the morning, so it's nice and cool when you want to have it with your fish fry. Okay, so this is just half of this capirotada with this cheese. I want to make sure that I don't get carried away and put it all over, because I just want it on half. There we go. All right, that is it. I have put the pecans, the nuts, the peanuts, the coconut, the queso, and I said I was going to add a little bit more raisins on top just because I wanted it to look pretty. Because So that coconut makes it look all white, and the cheese makes it look all white. So I'm just putting this on the top. Now, I've seen people add sprinkles in here. You want to put sprinkles, go for it. I'm not a fan of sprinkles, so not going in there. No offense, just don't want them in there. The beautiful taste of the piloncillo is so sweet. You don't want to add some candy like that. At least I don't. But I mean, it depends on who you're making it for. All right, so I'm just soaking it up, and then I've got my oven back on at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is probably gonna be in there, I mean, it could be in there 30 minutes, but I'm gonna put it for 20, check it. Because you want everything to like really marry into each other, all the flavors. I am gonna put some foil under this. I don't have a big enough pan to go under to put in the oven, so I'm just gonna put some foil just in case some of this, you know, boils up and spills out, all right? Okay. That is ready for the oven. And there we go, our beautiful Tres Leches Capirotada. That is a 3-milk Mexican bread pudding. And it is nice and toasty on the top. We're gonna go ahead and have this as dessert after our dinner. So we're gonna let this cool down some. And of course, we wanna refrigerate it for at least a couple of hours, let it get nice and cold, but you can absolutely eat it warm if that's what you wanna try. So try a little bit and then try it cold and you decide. All right, everyone, I think it's time to dig into it. I can tell that this is the side that had the cheese and this is the side without it. I wanna try it without the cheese. All right, let's go ahead and cut into this. I'm just gonna push my spatula in there. And I'm just gonna grab this bit right here. Look at that. Yummy. Let me get these little bits of raisins. Sorry about the noise outside. Here we go, just on there. Look at that, nice crunchy bits. And then we have nice moist bits here of the bread. Let's try it like this first. No construction going on, staple gun. That's all it is. Here's a little bit of the crunchy bit. So good. Well, I'm gonna give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and let me know what you think of my Capirotada de Tres Leches, or like I said, it is a 3-milk Mexican bread pudding. This is my version. It's obviously not something traditional, but I hope that you do enjoy it. So leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think. How do you make yours? And if you haven't made this before, are you gonna try it? I hope you will. You're gonna enjoy it. It's super delicious, something wonderful for these holidays, and of course, very filling dessert. This is obviously something that we like super cold. This wasn't in the fridge that long, so it's not super cold, but this is something that you wanna serve the next day. So make it a night before or a day before, keep it in the fridge, and then it'll be ready for your family on the next day. Bring it for a potluck. I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. All right, everyone, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that red subscribe button and then the little notification bell. Go ahead and choose all so that you get notified of all of my videos as soon as I upload them. I want to thank you all very much for watching and for tolerating the noise in the background. As always, enjoy.